Perfect, go.
All right, who's not heard of Guadalcanal? We're talking about 8 months after Pearl Harbor. The United States Marine Corps will start its first offensive of the war. Main objective is to take a Japanese airstrip, which would be done. It'd be named Henderson Field, and this became a crucial strategic point of the war. Deny the airstrip to the Japanese, and using the airstrip to advance to supply their offensive on Guadalcanal and the Solomon Islands. A big character, a big part of that battle is Major General Merritt Red Mike Edson. At the time, he's the commander of the 1st Marine Raider Battalion and the 1st Parachute Battalion. They were sent just south of Henderson Field to defend it, to prevent the Japanese and a counter-offensive from taking it. You've got about 800 Marines holding a line against about 3,000 to 4,000 Japanese. People say that some of the foxholes were about 20 feet apart. They were way, way undermanned. But the one advantage they had, they were U.S. Marines. They had heavy machine guns and they had a fighting attitude. The Japanese made some blunders. Because they approached the ridge through thick jungle, they had left behind their artillery. Once they assaulted the Marines, they decided that through the use of nighttime banzai attacks, they could overwhelm the numerically inferior Marine position. They were almost right. At night, the Marines at the battle said that there were a lot of screaming, a lot of obscenities yelled by the Japanese, taunting them, and then they would charge into the American line. Machine guns, hand grenades would repel the Japanese attack. The Japanese began to shoot green flares over the Marine position, calling in their naval guns to bomb the Marines, but they held. Eventually, though, the Japanese were able to penetrate the center of the American line. At the time, Lieutenant Colonel Edson personally went down to the front lines, him and his XO. And Edson directed a fighting retreat back to a horseshoe-shaped line at the top of the ridge known as Hill 1, 2, 3. It's from there they would dig in the best they could to either hold that hill or they'd die trying. In fact, Edson told his people he had a very professional attitude, a very professional approach to it. It doesn't matter why we're here, we're here. We're the only thing between the Japanese and Henderson Field. If we lose Henderson Field, we lose Guadalcanal. The Marines were going to win or die. Again, the Japanese assault the hill, wave after wave, nighttime banzai attacks. At the end of the battle, it was the Japanese who retreated. The Marines held Hill 1, 2, 3, what they would call after that time Bloody Ridge. Casualties from the battle, you've got about 40 dead Marines and a little over 106 wounded. The Japanese lost 600 men. Why is this important? Why is holding Edson Range a big deal in World War II history? Why is it a big deal to Marine Corps culture? Edson, the 1st Raider Battalion, the 1st Parachute Battalion, they, I think, are an excellent example of that Marine Corps fighting spirit. In the most desperate fights in history, the Marines do not quit. They get meaner. They fight harder. Against all odds, they dig in. They're gonna win, or they are going to die. They held Bloody Ridge. They kept Henderson Field. We won Guadalcanal, and we can move on into the next stage of the offensive. Now, Guadalcanal, Bloody Ridge, this is not the end of the battle. It's really the end of the beginning. There'd be more fighting there, but this does, I think, really embody that Marine Corps fighting spirit. It's the same kind of spirit, it's the same kind of fighting attitude that I bring into my novel, The Last Marine. When the Marines in that novel get into the tough fight against the Chinese Red Army in what I call the Sino-American War, they do not quit. They do not surrender. They just get meaner, they get tougher, they win, or they die. Hey, thank you for watching today. If you like what you saw, please check out my channel on YouTube, TS Ramsdell. Check out my website, tsramsdell.com, or TS Ramsdell on Facebook. Thank you.